Are you learning how to astral project? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk you through the 5 most common questions I get asked about astral projection. Hi everyone, it's Rosalie here from Rosalie Yoga, where I help you lay the foundations for personal growth through yoga nidra, meditation, and astral projection. Now, if you're seeing value in this video, please go ahead and hit the like button. It really does make a huge difference. Well, I've been asked time and time again these 5 questions which I'm about to share and answer for you. And once we're done, I'm going to share with you my top 2 favorite books that can really help you along your journey with astral projection. So make sure you stay tuned to the end for that. Question number 1, can I get lost? And the answer is no, you cannot get lost. As soon as you think about your physical body, you will snap right back in. Now, you might feel like you're lost or disorientated when you're out of body because you just don't know the surroundings. You are not familiar with the place you're at. So it might feel like you're lost, but if you want to come back to your body, think of your body and immediately you will snap right back in. Now, question number 2 comes about loud noises during the vibrational state. And I'll just read you this question. It's from It's Me, Laura. She says, when I try to astral project, I can hear a loud, high-pitched sound in my ears, and it always startles me and snaps me out of it. Any ideas on how not to get startled or scared so that I can actually move into astral projecting? Well, the main thing to know is that this is a very normal reported thing that happens in the vibrational states. Any kind of loud noise, Laura here is describing a high-pitched noise, it's also been described as like a roar or a jet engine going above your head. Any kind of loud noise, this is very common in the vibrational state. Other things that can happen in the vibrational state are things like really intense vibrations or surges of energy in your body. And again, it can be so intense, it can be really, really very frightening. Expect them. So if you are someone who's experiencing this, know that they might be coming. And when they do, welcome them, embrace them, because this is your signal that you're about to have an astral projection experience. So this is what you've been working up towards. So know that it might be coming, and when it does, embrace it. If it's a vibration, then you actually want to make it even more intense. You want to bring it up and down your body, see if you can make it go faster and faster. Just a little bit of warning though, you don't want to do this too long because everything might start to fade. What you're trying to do is to find the peak, find like the most intense place. This is like the window of opportunity. This is when we'll then do an exit technique. And I talk a lot about different exit techniques in my guided astral projection videos. So there's so many different techniques, but you want to do that exit technique really when these vibrations are at their peak. I do want to say though that not everybody experiences a vibrational state. So some people don't have them at all, or they're very slight. So if you don't experience it, it doesn't mean that you're not going to astral project. There are so many different ways to come out of your body. This classic technique, as I teach it, where you go in your mind awake, body asleep state. I teach that through yoga nidra. Then the vibrational state, what we're talking about now, and then the exit technique. This is one kind of classic technique to have an out-of-body experience. There are so many other ways. So things like, using lucid dreams, or just moving your point of consciousness, or relying more on hypnagogic images. So it's really about awareness. If you know that you are someone who might experience them, expect them. When they come, you won't get startled as much, and then use them, make them get more intense so that you can go out of body. And I often think of this as like a red light. If you're at a red light, you can't move, right? As soon as it gets to yellow or amber, you say, ooh, I'm gonna get ready. This is a vibrational state. You're getting ready to go, and then it's green, and boom, that's the time for you to do your exit technique. Now, have you ever experienced a vibrational state? If you have, I'd love to know what it was like for you. So just drop in the comments a little bit about your experience. Has it been the vibrations? Has it been a noise? What has it been like for you? Now, the third most common question I get asked is about vision. And it usually goes something like this. When I get out, my vision is blurry or it feels dark and I cannot see. Now, this is a very, very common thing. It was something that happened to me nearly every single time I astral projected at the beginning. And there are two great tips that I'm going to give you to help you with this. And the first one comes from Buhlman, who's a leading out-of-body exploration author, and he also teaches at the Monroe Institute. And this tip that I'm about to share can be used for nearly every other scenario that you might encounter when you're out of body. And that's simply to command whatever it is that you want and put a lot of intention behind it. So in this example, when you get out, your vision is blurry, command clarity now. And the key thing here is to really demand it. And with that now, expect it to just happen. It is incredible how your vision will just start to come into focus when you use this command. And the second tip is from Robert Peterson. And he says to put some distance between your physical body and your astral body if your vision is blurry. Because the closer you are to your physical body, the more influence that's going to exert on your astral body. So just put some distance. And the easiest way to do this is to think about where you want to go or who you want to see. And as soon as you put some distance between your physical body and your astral body, your vision will get better. Question number 4. I have been trying for some time to astral project, but either nothing happens or I fall asleep. Now, if nothing happens, I'll take this part of the question first. Know that you really need to experiment and find out what works for you. Maybe you've been trying a technique that just doesn't work for you. So as I teach it, this kind of classic out-of-body technique with the mind-awake, body-asleep state, vibrational state, and the exit, that might not be the technique that works the best for you. Maybe you're a really good lucid dreamer and you want to learn how to convert a lucid dream into an out-of-body experience. Maybe you're much better with just kind of moving your consciousness through the body and then out of the body. Know what are your strengths. Are you good with visualization? Are you more with sensory? You really want to start to try different techniques. Sometimes it's easy for people to just focus on the hypnagogic images that you get really when you're at the cusp of sleep. And then there are different techniques that you can use to bring yourself into an out-of-body technique using those hypnagogic images. So it's super important to experiment, find what works for you. I'm going to share with you those 2 books shortly, and I would highly recommend that you start to read. You'll find that the more you read about out-of-body experiences, the more you're going to start to have them. Now, there are a few other things you can do to set yourself up for success. And the first is to not practice in your bed, because we associate the bed mainly with sleep. So if you come to bed, you will likely fall asleep. Have a separate area, for example, your sofa or a spare room. Second thing is to practice alone. And so if you're moving to your sofa, likely you'll be alone. A lot of leading authors, including William Buhlman, will say that it's extremely difficult to project with your partner next to you. Now, it doesn't mean it's impossible. I do it often with my husband next to me, but for some people, they might find it easier if they are alone. And the second part of that question is about falling asleep, which is so common when you're trying to astral project. And the main thing I would say to that is play around with the time that you're practicing. Most people will find it more difficult to actually astral project when they go to bed at night to go to sleep, because your body is tired. This doesn't mean it's not possible. This is actually when I do a lot of my astral projection, but this is just what works for me. For many people, this doesn't work. So there is a method called the wake back to bed method. And that means that you set your alarm for 4 to 6 hours after you go to bed. You wake up, go to your astral projection exploration area, whether that's a sofa or a spare room, and then you try your technique there. But you do it after 4 or 6 hours of sleep. It does require discipline, and maybe you just want to try it out once at the weekend and just see how that goes. Or during an afternoon nap. That's also another great time to try. So if you are falling asleep, just experiment with different times and find what works for you. And again, try not to practice in your bed. Just a little tip, if this is the only place you can practice, try to put your head where you would normally put your feet. So just switch yourself around, and that might help as well. And finally, question number 5, which I get asked so many times, is this dangerous? How do you protect yourself when you're out of body? A few things I want to say to that. And the first is that many of these so-called entities that we encounter are actually manifestations of our subconscious fears. And this is something Robert Peterson talks a lot about in his latest book. He calls it the guardian of the threshold. So what we're seeing is something that we're actually projecting. It's our fears that we're manifesting in front of us. This doesn't mean everything that you encounter is this. It can actually be something, but just know this as a baseline, that it can be that. A way that I have dealt with this in the past, and it draws on William Buhlman's now technique, is to command, show me your true nature now, and ask it really like that. And when you use this technique, this William Buhlman now technique, don't be polite. Don't say, oh, please, can you show me? No, you want to say, show me your true nature now, and really like demand it. But if you use that, and if you're going to do that, be prepared for what you're going to see. And yeah, just know as well that it's a lot to do with your own frequency. So, you know, whatever it is that you're projecting is what you're attracting. So the people, the beings, the experiences that you're attracting are going to match the frequency that you're projecting. And this is also on the astral. So only practice when you're really at a high vibration, or not, at least not when you're a low vibration. Facing your fears, conquering your fears is the single best thing you can do to really start to astral project, because fear will hold you back. Having said that, there are a few things you can do to protect yourself, or at least to give yourself that feeling that you're protected during the journey. Surround yourself in lights, and it's really nice to visualize this as a color as well. Maybe it's white or golden, whatever color really calls to you. Second thing is to have an affirmation where you ask for the help, the protection of any higher source that you believe in. You know, whether that's your higher self or a guide, ask for their help and protection. And the third thing, which I've touched on already a little bit, is just to keep your vibration high as well. Don't practice when your vibration is low. And during an experience, know that you can always ask for help. If you encounter something, you're really frightened, or you need help, ask for your guides, ask for whatever higher source that you believe in for their help. We're never really alone. You'll be surprised the more you practice how much you start to realize that we are not alone. So make sure that you ask for help. It's not just in the astral, in your daily life as well. We often forget that help is all around us. We just need to ask for it. Now, during an experience, and this is something to do if you're feeling brave, and it's something I learned from Robert Peterson, see if you can project love and light to whatever it is that is frightening in front of you. Try that and see what happens if you're feeling brave. Remember as well that it's always better to be angry than it is to be afraid. So really shout, tell this thing to, get out of here, as opposed to kind of coiling and being afraid. And finally, this is super important that you remember, is that if you're really afraid, just stop, abort your mission, and go back to your body. Simply by thinking of your physical body, you will snap right back in. And finally, I'm going to throw a little bonus question in. This comes from Jojo Stark. So thank you, Jojo, for your question. You asked if you could give just one piece of advice to having successful out-of-body astral projection experiences, what would it be? I'm going to list just a few of these. The first one is really to look at your mindset. So go into this having an explorer mindset. Go in and with the attitude that, I'm just going to see what happens. I'm going to try this out and see what happens. If you go in with the attitude that I must astral project tonight, it has to happen, you're putting so much pressure on yourself. As soon as you take the pressure off and you relax into it and just say, hey, we're going to see what happens, that's when it's actually going to happen. I know it sounds crazy, but just be relaxed about it and enjoy the journey. The second thing is to keep a dream and astral projection journal. This is so important, is that you write everything down when you come back from an experience. And every morning as well, if you don't have a dream journal already, start to keep one. The more you make a note, the more you're sending a signal to your subconscious mind that this is important to you and you want more of these experiences. And you'll start to see that the more you write, the more you're going to remember. So really important, keep a dream/astral projection journal. And finally, my number one tip is to really master this mind awake, body asleep state. As I teach it with Yoga Nidra, you'll find that the more you can stay in the state and stay awake, the more experiences you're going to have. And know that even if you don't astral project, you're gaining all the benefits of this Yoga Nidra practice. So it's win-win all around, even if you don't astral project. Now for me, astral projection has really been a huge kind of learning spiritual tool for me. So it's really helped me step into truly all of me, all of my power, and know how incredibly multidimensional we all are. It's really opened my mind in so many different ways, and I truly hope that through astral projection you will have these experiences as well for yourself. I promised I would share my 2 best books, and if I had to read just one book on astral projection, it would be this one. And this is Adventures Beyond the Body by William Buhlman. It's a very old book. I have been reading this for decades, but it's one that I come back to time and time again. I would highly recommend it. Check this one out. The second book I'm going to recommend is from Robert Peterson, Hacking the Out-of-Body Experience. In this book, he gives so many different techniques. So if you're at that stage where you're still experimenting to see what works for you, check out this book. It'll give you so many different techniques, and then you're going to start to build your own practice, which is amazing. Now, I would love to hear from you. Let me know in the comments, what has been your biggest takeaway? What have you learned? And also, what do you still have questions about? I will start to collate more and more questions, and I'll do more and more of these videos. But I wanted to start with this one, with the most frequently asked questions. These are the questions I get to ask time and time again. Thank you so much for watching today. If you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it the like button. It really makes a huge difference. And also share this video with someone if you think they might be interested. And if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. I'm going to post some links here to some guided astral projection videos that I have. Try these, they have different techniques, and hopefully I'll see you on the astral.